Okay, let's go ahead and get started there, everybody. Welcome back to another Conceptis Puzzle stream, or at least portion of the stream. I'm your host, Strange Bro Jim, and today, got started a little late, but that's okay. I mean, stream when I can, when I can. Yeah, when I can, when I can. um, we're gonna be continuing for an hour for Conceptus. I think I'm gonna go ahead and skip out on the Terraria mod building for today. Seeing that I'm kind of starting off late, and then we'll move on to Honkai Star Rail later on tonight. Um, Tomorrow will be Warframe multiplayer with Blackheart. And then Saturday, of course, will also be Warframe as well. But so today, I mean, we only got a few more hours left before the update hits, before it switches over. So, um, from the looks of it, it looks like these puzzles seem fairly easy here on the front page, but it doesn't always translate to that. So, yeah, sometimes, while it might show an easy, very easy one on the front page, it doesn't always, present me with that, when we get to this screen sometimes, you know. So, but we're gonna start off with battleships, you know, first off. So let me go ahead and get that active for everybody. I love how it's so distorted on this stream, but I mean, it's most I can really do about it. So, all right, the one's clear, zero's clear. We have two here, so those are done, and that's can't really do anything with those. And then of course we got the two there, so there's that. Let's see. We have a three, which can't do it with this guy. And this is the only one available, so we have three there. So this two is done. This one is done, and of course I can't put anything there. So this one has to have something there, which is fine because there's nothing else on that three. And then of course we have our last two that's there. So, and we're all done with that one. As it shows right here, um, it's very easy. So, and I was able to do it in a minute. Now, obviously, some people probably could, clear it out in less than a minute, but all right, let's go on to the Hitori puzzle here. Um, Hey there, Katiro. Kirito, how you doing there, bud? You need help for a Star Wars thing you were writing? Well, I mean, I can try to help. Um, I don't know how much help I can provide you, but I will do what I can. Okay, let's go ahead and get this puzzle up. Tori, so everybody can see it. There we go. All right. So already I see this, and this as all possibilities. Um, because being in the center of all that, we got another center one there. Got another center one there. Not a whole lot of triples, but that's okay. At least I'm not really seeing a lot of triples. There's a middle one there, and for the ones and the fours there. We got a middle one there. Oh, we got a triple there. Um, let's see, anything else? We got a middle one there. Okay, I'm not really seeing much else, but with that in mind, we'll go ahead and use our circles and try to clear out any duplicates. So, yeah, we're good. 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 And we're good. Okay, so here's what we got here. So we got 7, which will cancel out that one. And there's no other 7s, so not much we can do with that. 2 doesn't have anything. 4 doesn't have anything. Let's see, we got the 2 there, doesn't have anything. 8 doesn't have anything. 6, nope. 7, no. 1, no. Interesting. Okay. Let's see, we got the 8 here, and that blocks off that one, so that's good. We have the 1 here, which will block that one off, but not much else here. So let's take care of everything around this 1. Nothing for that 2. We got that one blocked off for the 4. Oh, I see we have a middle one there. Didn't see that one before, so we got that. We got this 5, which will block off that one, and nothing else. 6 has nothing. And we got this 3 here, which will block off that, so that's good. Any other 3s? Nope. Okay. Let's see. We got the 2 up there, nothing else. 3, nothing else. So we come over here. We got this 5, which will block off that one and that one, so that's awesome. We got the 7, which doesn't have anything. I know this one is a circle, but let's hold off on that for right now. So we got a 6 here. Don't really see anything. And then we got the 1 there. Don't really see anything. Or, there's no cancellations I can do there. So now we'll come to the 4. Okay, so my Star Wars OC fighting styles, wild and chaotic. How do you think Jedi would react with that? Um, well, I mean, the most Jedi are able to handle pretty much anything that comes at them with their Jedi training. They tend to analyze even the most wild and chaotic and try to, figure out the most defensive. If they are a very strong Jedi, then they could probably just go ahead and pick you up and throw you away. If it's a fairly young Jedi, as in like a youngling or Padawan or someone that's not really that super strong with the Force, I could see, some potential problems that they might have um, with a chaotic fighting style. Um, but like, you know, you have to understand that, even, you know, Jedi's are meant to kind of even block like blaster shots, you know, with their lightsaber, fairly with ease, unless of course you start, having like hundreds of soldiers firing them at, you know, um, you know, different, angles. Then they start failing at that, because their lightsaber can't be in, multiple spots all at once. That's why Order 66 is, such devastation to the Jedi Order. So, But okay, we got this one here that closes out that one. We need to have this 4, so that blocks off that one. Let's see, we got a 6 here, so that blocks that one off. We got a 7 there, and no other 7, so we got this 4 here, which blocks that one. We got the 4 here, which blocks off nothing. 8, that blocks off nothing. And the 7, that blocks off nothing. So there's that. Okay, we have the 1 here, that's necessary, which will block that one off. Which means this 3 is needed, and this 8 is needed, but those don't shut down anything else. We got the 4 that's needed, we got this 5 that's needed, that will block off that 5, which will handle those. So, and we're all done with that puzzle. So, and we're all done with that one. So we're going to move on to the next puzzle. So, um, if you're talking about the OC being a Padawan of 11 years old trying to do a fighting style that's wild and chaotic, they would most likely try to find the right kind of fighting style to kind of work with that particular style. Because don't forget that there's multiple different fighting styles for Jedi. Um, I don't have them all memorized. I think there's like 7 different fighting styles that the Jedi have. Maybe more. Um, but hand-to-hand combat, is still part of their training for the most part. Um, but obviously, they're still needing to be trained with the lightsaber, as that is one of their major defensive weapons that they have. So, um, so I would imagine a good Jedi teacher would like look at a person who's being overly chaotic and wild in their style and basically go, okay, come at me, you know, come at me with your style, and then basically go, okay, I'm gonna block your attack here and throw you to the ground, kind of thing. Um, or something along those lines. They will clearly show how they can kind of get past the attacks, analyze the attacks, figure out what might be in um, um, where the weaknesses are, and will exploit them. So um, you know all right. Let's see. Let's go with the Kakaduku on this one. Oh, we got a medium one. Okay, this might be a little tough to get through, but we'll see what we can do. Alright, let's see. Let me go ahead and bring this up for everybody. There we go. Alright, so 1, 4, 5. Oh, I don't think I see any single points anywhere in here. So this is going to be a little interesting because there's no defined number given automatically. So okay, we got 3 and 3, and then the 6. So that's done. Um, okay, 2 has to be here because 1 and 4 is already taken up there. So there's a 1 and 4 on both of those, which means this has to be 2. 3 is taken up, so this one has to be a 7, and this one has to be a 3. So, which means this is the 256. And of course, I'm ignoring the 6 there because the 6 has already been taken up, which means the 4 has to be there. So, 3's here, so this one has to be the 1, and here's the 3, which means here's the 4, here's the 1. So there's that. Okay, 3's and 2's are gone, so that means we have a 6 here, and we have a 4 here, and we have the 1 there. Okay, we have 5 and 6 here. And there's nothing wrong with that. Just know that, Jedi are able to kind of enhance their speed and agility as well. Um, you know, so um, okay, got 6 here and 5 there, which means we have 1 and 4 here, and 1, 4, 3 the rest of the way. So, I don't mean to kind of, you know, slam on your OC, but I mean, you have to understand that even if your OC is really strong in his, abilities and stuff like that, you're talking about Jedis that are like going across the entire known galaxy to uphold justice, which, um, you know, which in some cases they might actually be fighting someone that might be quicker, stronger, faster than what your OC could be. So just bear that in mind. Don't think of the Jedi as being slouches, but um, but at the same time, if your OC is trained properly, then they will be a pretty significant force, if trained properly um, and all that. So, um, let's see, we need a 6 here. Okay, can't be 661, so we have the 3 here, and we have the 2 here for that one. So, close down the 2's there, which means the 2 has to be there. Close down those 2's there, which means this one has to be a 2. So we have the 6 closed down there. And we have the 4 here and the 3 there. Closes down that 4 there. Let's see. Okay, we need the 3 there. 5 and 7, so that means 4 has to be there, 7 has to be there, 4 has to be there, 1 has to be there. 1's clear, 4's cleared, 1's cleared. Well, this one has to be a 4 anyway. I guess 1 and 5's. This one has to be the 6. This one has to be 7, 1, 5, 7, 5, 1, 5, and 7. There we go. All done. Think of it this way. A good Jedi, as a good teacher, will be able to try to analyze a weakness and exploit it. Um, you know, take for example. Okay, think of it this way. General Grievous, right? Now, I'm not particularly a huge fan about the prequels, but I mean, I'll still refer to them anyway, right? Because it's canon. Um, but General Grievous, right? I mean, if you look at it, he's been able to acquire lightsabers from other Jedis because he's been able to defeat those other Jedis. Okay? So how? They don't show. But, he's been able to, deal with them in the past. Okay? Maybe he played some form of trickery or something like that, caught them in a trap, killed them off, and took their lightsabers. And then, since then, he's had his multiple arms to wield said lightsabers to kill off other Jedi. You know, or maybe he's used the electrical staffs to kind of keep himself protected and shock the Jedi to the point where he could kill them off and gain their sabers there. Who knows? The point is that General Grievous has been able to kill off Jedi, but compare that with Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan studied you know Grievous, studied the fighting style and adjusted himself to counter what he was doing and literally disarmed Grievous, to the point where Obi-Wan got the upper hand. Now, if General Grievous had any sort of um, mental thought to his brain, he would have ordered all of his drones to shoot at Obi-Wan like right then and there, even from behind, and killed him. But he didn't. It's one of those little stupid parts that I was like going, okay, you're trying to do a 1v1 versus Jedi. Okay, you're being stupid. Um but that's the point though, is that, you don't want to necessarily think of Jedi as being overly dumb, overly stupid. Um, you know, um, you know, they will, they're trained in being able to handle anything defensively. So, okay, let's go with the skyscrapers. So while your OC might be able to get in like maybe a punch or two, maybe. A strong Jedi, a knowledgeable Jedi will always be able to try to figure out a way to counter what they're doing, no matter what, you know. So, you know, especially if they themselves are fairly new for the most part. So, Okay, we're going to put 1 there. Can't put a 3, so... and the 5 has to be here. We need the 2 there. Which means the 4 has to be here and the 3 has to be there. So, there's that. Let's see. We got 2 and 4 here. We got 2 and 3 here. And then we got 2, 3, 4 here. We need 3 here, which means 4's there. Got 1, 2, and 5 here. We got 1 and 4 there. We have 1 and 5 there. Yeah, 5 has to be here. There's no other choice in that matter. So that means 5 has to be there. There's no other spot for 5 anywhere. So, which means we need to have that 4 there, which means here's that 2, here's that 3, here's that 4. Yeah. We have 1 there. Let's see. We got 1, 3, 4, and 5, so this one has to be 2, this one has to be the 1, 2 has to be there, 1 has to be there, and the 3 has to be there. There we go. There we go. I know of Darth Revan, and if I remember correctly, he was in Knights of the Old Republic. If I remember correctly, that's the main protagonist, I think, or main antagonist. I forget. But it's been a while since I've played Knights of the Old Republic, so I think he was the protagonist, if I remember correctly. All right, let's go ahead and go on to Link. Oh wait, hide that for right now. Play for and we got a very easy puzzle here. So oh, it's not coming up. Okay. Link. You need to go to that one. There we go. Okay, there's all that. Okay, we got that. Easy peasy. Got those. And that's taken care of. Can't do anything there. That's closed off, so we got this. Okay, we got that, we got that. Which means we need to have this. Which puts that there. Which means we got that. And we got that, okay. And there's that. Alright. I can't put anything there, so there's that one. So there's that. Okay. we go. Can't put it there, so we do that. And we do this. And then we do that. And all done. Well, I mean, Force ghosts have been known to kind of possess souls in the past. Well, um, let's see, I forget. I never read very many of the Star Wars books. Never had the cash um, to read some of the old Legends books that were out there. But um, there if I think there was actually at one point in time there was a incident where Revan did actually take over another character in one of the books, or one of the Jedi's in one of the books. I think. I could be wrong on that. I'm not 100% sure if that's true or not. But there, Sith ghosts have been known to possess um, Force sensitive, if not, full on Jedi, and use them to their own means and ends and stuff like that. Um, so that's not totally unheard of. So, if your character is influenced by Revan to turn Sith, um, then that's not totally unheard of. Now, um, if he does turn Sith, then you're basically going to be setting him up to fight Darth Vader. And if you're setting him up to fight Darth Vader, he'll lose. um, so you're just you know um, technically there was never George never wanted gray Jedi from what I understand. He never wanted gray Jedi or anything along those lines. He never wanted that kind of concept to be a thing because he viewed it as he viewed Jedi as a Christian philosophy in that um the Sith is the devil, or the evil thoughts, or just pure evil, right? And the best way to be a Jedi was to pure all the impurities of anger and stuff like that from your body. So the idea of having impurities in a person was something that George never really liked. So now personally, I'm all for Grey Jedi, okay? Because in my opinion, there's really no way of getting rid of evil thoughts. It's how you control those evil thoughts, you know. Um, you know, even the best moral person ever will have some form of evil thoughts in them, right? Um, you know, uh, think of it, I even think of it along these lines. Okay, if if God is supposed to be all powerful, all knowing, he possesses everything, he is everything, then doesn't that mean that he's also potentially evil too? Potentially? You know, I'm just saying. Um, but, obviously, if you want to go with, certain religions and stuff like that, then that's obviously frowned upon and stuff like that. So that would be blasphemous. So, yeah. All right. Let's go on to Tic-Tac-Logic. Open. Oh, wait. No, hold on. You need to play that for free. If I remember correctly, Revan was actually a Sith that lost his memory and went back to the Jedi. He might have like started out as a Jedi, turned Sith during the Old Republic War, or the war with Knights of the Old Republic war versus the Sith Empire. Um, but um, but he still had that background. He still had that you know um, he still had that kind of Sith history. So if I remember correctly. So oh wait, shit, I forgot to. Here, hold on. Let me. There we go. Almost started the puzzle without showing you guys here. Tic-Tac-Logic. It's not showing the puzzle. There we go. Almost started it without, showing anything. All right. Okay. There's that. There. There's that. Okay. Okay, we'll do that. Next. Okay, we got that. That on there, which means we need this. And there we go. Okay, we can't put the two remaining circles here, so we need to put one over there at least. Let's see, two remaining circles here can't work, so we'll put it down there. So we need to have one circle here, so the rest of these are the X's. Which means we have circles here, which does those X's there, put that one there, and there we go. Let's see, what else? Okay, we got a circle there. Okay, we need to have at least one circle here, so we have X's on the rest, which means there's a circle there's a circle there, X's there, and circle there. Gotcha. And then X there, circle there, X there. Okay, two circles here is not possible, so we put a circle there, X there. Can't put two X's there, so we put that there, and there we go. And we solved it. And we're all done. Awesome. Okay, last puzzle, and then we'll close on down Conceptus and move on to the next one. Now, again, I'm not gonna do Block-a-Pix, the Fill-a-Pix, or Link-a-Pix because normally that takes a while. Normally, it takes a while for me to kind of finish these puzzles off, even if they're easy. So, like this one would take a long time to to finish. So, um, I mean, if you had time, now's the time to, to do it yourself if you're watching the stream. But obviously, if you're watching this later on YouTube, then it'd probably be well too late. So, um, okay. But last one that we're going to be doing today is the Hashi. So, okay. Oh wait. I Once again, I don't have the puzzle up yet and running, so need window up there, Jim. Then I can try to show it off, which isn't working right at this moment in time, so we're going to change the properties so we can have it viewed. There we go. Alright, so already I see 6, which, it's automatic doubles everywhere, so there's not much I can really do about that. We got these, so there's that. That one has to go that way. This 3 has to go there. We got the 3 there, which means double up there. Um, Okay, we need one going that way at the very least. That one going there. And I could have one going there, so I need to have at least one going in that direction, which means that 4 is done. This 2 is done. We could have one going that way, but we need one going that way at the very least. So, there's that one. Okay. We have one going that way. We need one going this way at the very least. So, also, I need help in my anxiety. I'm not quite sure exactly what you're referring to there, Kirito. Are you dealing with an anxiety yourself right at this moment in time, or are you talking about your character having some form of anxiety? Okay, well, we can do one there and one there. Not much else we can do about that. Double up there, and double up there. There we go. And we're all done. Puzzle is complete. Can't watch live sports TV and play. I can't play games. Sometimes my anxiety. Been trying to figure out what to do. Okay. So bear in mind, I'm not an expert at this. Okay. Um, so take this with a grain of salt because, um, I'm not I'm not one that will be able to give you a perfect answer on this. Okay, so don't think of me as someone that will be able to alleviate your anxiety. Okay. Um, sometimes, therapy might help. Sometimes it's a chemical imbalance that might need, you know, medicine to try to alleviate. I don't know. Okay. Um, but if I get to a point where I'm like, you know, um, I, you know, I, you know, I can't necessarily put myself in your shoes or at this moment in time, their characters. So I can't necessarily give you a good answer. So just want to kind of preface that a little bit. Okay. Um, but if I want to try to like relax and not necessarily worry about something like, anxiety, I would imagine you have something that is like in the back of your mind that's like worrying you or something like that. Okay. Um, now either A, you find out what that problem is. Sometimes it might be just therapy. Maybe it's some kind of repressed thought line or something like that that, therapy might unblock and you might be able to try to resolve said anxiety that way. Maybe. Okay. Maybe it's something like um maybe it's as simple as something like, oh my God, I forgot to take out the trash or something along those lines. Then or I'm really I'm really, you know, uh being kind of stupid along those lines, but maybe it's something a little bit more than that, obviously. Um, but it might be something um, like maybe your room is dirty or something like that, like you have an uncleaned room or something. Okay. Um, you know, um, there's there's kind of two ways. Like if it's like an unclean room, right? There's kind of like two ways of going about doing it. Okay, or maybe three ways. One, you're gonna need to kind of calm yourself down, which means move yourself away from that particular situation. Like, hey, you have a dirty room. Okay, well, sometimes um, you know, out of sight, out of mind might help you along those lines. Okay, so maybe kind of putting yourself away from that particular situation might help. Like maybe, um, as an example, like maybe it's a dirty room, but you don't necessarily want, you're filled with anxiety about it, and you don't necessarily want to deal with it at that particular moment in time. So maybe take a walk to a park or something like that. Find a quiet spot that you can kind of relax, you know. Try to find some way of, having some form of mental relaxation, yoga, meditation, or something along those lines that might help you kind of alleviate that anxiety at that particular moment in time. Okay. Then, once your anxiety goes down, then you can go back and, if you're dealing with, like, say, a messy room or something along those lines, then sometimes it's a good idea to just kind of take things in short steps. Okay. Like if you have a messy room, for example, you know, take a small section of that room and clean it up. You know, clean up that small section of the room. Okay. You know, you get it cleared, you feel happy about it, you feel proud of yourself for doing, cleaning that section of room, and um and you know, sometimes, you know, um if the job is super large or something like those along those lines, you have a lot on your plate. Sometimes it's best to try to break it down into small jobs to try to handle the overall picture, to handle the overall task. Okay. Um, that's why you want to take breaks. You want to take lunch breaks and stuff like that to kind of give yourself a little bit of time to kind of, um, you know, to not tackle something all at once. I mean, you could try that, but sometimes you might wear yourself down faster than what you would do taking it like one step at a time, right? Um, so sometimes it's just a matter of like breaking, large tasks down into smaller things that you can handle, and do those small things one after another until the entire like project or what you need to do is done. Okay. And then, you know, and that alleviates that kind of an anxiety. If it's like, oh my gosh, my room is messy, I'm getting, anxiety from it. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, I'm gonna clear this part of the room up, and then I'm proud of that little part. I look at that little part and it's all clean, and I don't need to worry about it. And then the next day, I look at the room. I see that one part is clear. I clean up the next part and clear that out. You know, and it's just that one step at a time. Okay. Um, the last part that I would say is sometimes like watching TV and watching games. Um, yeah, sometimes it's not as relaxing, right? Um, sometimes you might not get the calm that you might need from it. Okay. Um, that's why some people like to do yoga or meditation to try to calm their mind along those lines. Now, don't get me wrong. I haven't done yoga. I haven't done any form of meditation, so I can't help you along those lines. Okay, but I do know that that has helped out others. Yoga has helped out others. Meditation has helped out others. You know, I I haven't seen a need for it myself personally, but I'm not gonna say that's a terrible idea, you know. So that might be something. Something that you can potentially do is, um, get yourself into find yourself a nice quiet spot to just kind of sit down and relax at. You know, go to a park where there's like absolutely no one there and just sit back and relax. Enjoy the sights, enjoy the relaxation of it all. In that sense, it's a form of um, not necessarily yoga per se, because you're not like necessarily doing any kind of stretches, but it's a form of um, meditation along those lines. You're kind of getting yourself out of that um, maybe stressful situation that you're in that's causing you the anxiety. Get yourself out of it and put yourself into a location that isn't as chaotic, as stressful, and stuff like that. You know, a park might be a good place to go to. Um, Down at the beach, if you're by the ocean, by the lake, if you're by a lake, go down to a river or something like that. Just kind of watch the river flow. Whatever. Just kind of like maybe just kind of get yourself out of the house because if you're getting anxiety from within the house, like the house itself is kind of causing some form of an anxiety to you, then sometimes it's just, maybe you just need to kind of get out of it, you know. Now, obviously, be safe, don't, you know, don't go out in the middle of the night to a very, um, like a dangerous part of the town to a park because that might not necessarily be safe. Um, but you know, um, some people like to go to like national parks, for example, and go hiking as a form of, in a sense, stress relief and that kind of thing. So, some people do like weightlifting or just exercising in general. Now, obviously, you said that you've hurt your foot and hurt your leg. I get it. Um, so obviously, you wouldn't necessarily want to be like, running on a treadmill, right? That wouldn't necessarily work for you. But, maybe swimming might be a good activity for you to use. You know, you're still going to be using your leg, but I don't know if that's going to really put a lot of stress on your foot per se. Um, doing swimming and might actually kind of help you out. I mean, I know swimming can be swimming can be a really good exercise because it's pretty much working all your muscles. So, um, but and sometimes, that itself can be a form of meditation as well. Going out into a swimming pool, even if it's down at like the local like YMCA or something like that, if you have a membership, whatever. Or find a neighbor that has a pool or something like that. Or, if you have a pool yourself, then, that might be a good thing to do, right? Um, the other, like one of probably the last things that I would probably recommend is reading a good book. You know, Sometimes just sitting there, like sit down on your bed, propped up, book in hand. You have a drink, you have some snacks or something like that, and just read, man. Sometimes reading can be like one of the most relaxing things that you do. So, um, um, so that's all. That's the most that I can think of. But again, you know, like I said, I'm no expert on how to handle anxiety. Okay. Um, I'm not a foremost expert on it. Um, but, you know, I know some people, like, okay, think of it this way. I know some people can have anxiety just by going to like a shopping area, like a local mall, a Walmart, Target, whatever, you know, where there's lots of people around, and they get a form of anxiety there. Why? I don't really know. there's probably some form of root cause on it that kind of causes them to have anxiety around large groups of people. Maybe they have some form of past trauma where they had like maybe a bully splattered like food on them in their cafeteria and everybody laughed at them or something like that. I don't really know. Okay. Again, that falls under the preview of therapy. Okay. Um, but you know, to kind of get themselves out of that kind of situation with a lot of people around and they're like stressed out about it, then sometimes they just have to kind of take themselves out of that situation, where it's causing them that form of anxiety. Now, obviously, that becomes a problem if they're trying to like, hey, I need to do shopping, and they have to actually go to this place before it closes. Obviously, that's a problem, right? But um, but sometimes I would say like, hey, sometimes there's like 24-hour grocery stores or something like that. So sometimes maybe not going at rush hour might be helpful. Go at midnight where there's not many people at the grocery store to pick up groceries then, for example. So I don't know. Um, so yeah. Um, I don't know I don't know what might be the cause. Okay, that's why I say, therapy is probably the first course of action that I would probably that I would say for the long run. Okay. If you have the money to consider getting yourself a therapist for a long-term therapy session to find out the root cause and figure out how to combat it, then I would say, try to do try to do that um, because obviously anxiety can be a major problem. I'm not gonna say that's ignore your anxiety, blah blah blah. No, I know of people that have had anxiety and have suffered from it and have dealt with it or tried to deal with it. So I'm not going to be one of those idiots that say, you don't have anxiety, blah, kind of thing. No, it's um, so so I would say, long term. I would say, see if you can get yourself a therapist, okay, to try to figure out what the root cause of it is, try to talk it out, try to resolve, or try to figure out how to resolve it, okay? Um, the short term would be, like those solutions that I kind of gave, like some form of exercise, reading a book, or kind of getting yourself out of that situation that's causing you some form of anxiety. So, um, you know, like if you're at a if you're at an apartment or something like that, you know, so you don't really have like maybe you're in New York, for example, right? Not a whole lot of spots that you can kind of go to in New York, for example, that, might allow for you to kind of get out of you know, there might not necessarily be a nice quiet location for you to go to, right? In those particular location ideas, right? Then sometimes it maybe it's just as simple as um you know, going to the stairwell of an apartment complex and just kind of sitting in the stairwell and just hanging out there for a while, you know, relax in the stairwell, outside of your apartment that might be causing you some anxiety or something like that. I don't know. So, um, so yeah, you know, the, you know, but taking, you know, I'm, again, I'm not an expert at it. So, take my suggestions with a very, very major grain of salt. So, um, I'm not going to say like, oh, yeah, my ideas will perfectly solve your anxiety. No, I'm not going to say that. Okay. A trained therapist, that has studied how to handle anxiety, they would probably know, you know, a better solution than I would. Okay. So that's why. So I don't know how to swim, sadly. I hate this because moments what I'm gonna say is, hey, if you're that guy, then this is gonna happen every game. Well, oh, okay. Um, I don't know if you have a pool nearby or something like that. If you even have a way to get to a, a place where you can swim, right? Like I remember um, in the town, in one of the towns that I grew up at, they had we didn't have any pools in the backyard or anything along those lines, but we did have local park that had a public pool available for pretty much anybody to go swim at, right? And that's where I learned how to swim. Which is sometimes you just need to, stay in the shallow area, you know, um, make sure that you have a friend with you that preferably knows how to swim, right? And sometimes, um, um, it there's a couple ways of learning how to swim, right? First, um, one of the methods that I would typically recommend is grab the side of the pool and start kicking your legs. Okay. Um, Start trying to, obviously, you can't, if you're grabbing grabbing the ledge, your feet is standing up on the side of the pool, standing in the pool, right? So obviously kicking your legs there isn't gonna really do anything. Okay, so what you're gonna need to do is you're gonna need to kind of get your body to kind of be straight and start trying to like kick your legs, so that you can kind of get the motion of it and get the idea of how to kind of propel yourself. But obviously, you're holding on to the edge, so your head is still above water. And that way, you're kind of, in a sense, treading water to kind of keep your body, floating in that particular case, right? So you have that. The other method of going about doing it, and this is one of the reasons why I like, you know, I say, have a friend with you, is get to a point where your feet are barely touching the ground or touching the bottom of the pool, and then start kind of kicking up a little bit and start moving your legs back and forth. Okay, this is typically known as like treading water. Um, or like a doggy paddle, just have and move your hands down like this, while you're like, moving your legs back and forth. And that's typically known as treading water, and that will typically keep you afloat for a while. So, um, but yeah, typically you want to have a friend with you there just in case. And obviously, make sure that you have a lifeguard if you're going to a public pool, right? Um, but having a friend there that knows how to swim can be a huge relief, you know. So, but that's a couple ways that I would recommend. You know, if you don't know how to swim, that's what I would kind of start off with. Just to kind of learn the basics. You don't have to be, um, you don't have to be like the professional swimmers that knows how to do the backstroke and breaststroke and the butterfly and all that jazz. Don't need to worry about that. Okay. Um, uh, the what you need to do is learn how to tread water. Okay. And doing it something simple like treading water, doing a doggy paddle, um, and just learning how to float. you know, Learning how to be kind of relaxed in the water is just enough to kind of get past that, um, you know, lack of understanding or lack of knowledge. So, um, it just takes a little bit of practice. I'm not gonna say like you're gonna be able to do it first try or something like that, but I mean just um, you're probably gonna have your head go below the water, and you might potentially drink, swallow some of the pool water. I mean that goes without saying. That sometimes that happens. Even the most professional swimmers probably have swallowed water before, so don't think you're gonna be the only one. um, so, but obviously, make sure you have that partner with you to kind of keep you safe, just in case. So, um, some of the things that I had fun doing was, curl myself up into a little ball, like, grab my legs, hold them up against my body, and just kind of formed, the cannonball, and just floated in water. Obviously my head would be kind of, you know, would kind of go under the water at that point. So obviously you're going to need to learn how to hold your breath. But um, but obviously I wouldn't necessarily do that until after you've learned how to kind of get some form of motion. Because if you start like floating out into the deep end, then you're going to be in trouble. so so learn how to kind of propel yourself, by grabbing that side and kicking your legs and learning the doggy paddle. Those are the most basics of basics when it comes to swimming. So, um, um, yeah, the fact that your teammates put a lot of pressure on you during basketball games is kind of frustrating. Um, that's probably a lot of anxiety right there, my friend. Not gonna lie. A lot of people putting a lot of pressure on you to win the game, and if you don't make that winning shot or something like that, then it's even more pressure on you, or more. Um, it's more on you because you feel as though you've let down the team because they put. But that's the thing. They themselves put all that pressure on you. Okay. no one should ever have to kind of go through that. Okay. Um, no one should ever have to go through that idea that you are the one and only person on a team um, to get the job done. Okay. Um, if you're on a team, then it should be a team effort. Okay. Um, you know, at that point in time, I would have been saying, hey, no, I need some backup. You know, um, you can try to pass me the ball at the last second and see if I can get a point. But if I'm blocked, if people are covering me, then you guys need to take that shot. And if you fail, then you fail. Comes with the game. You know, not everybody's going to be batting 100 every single time. Okay, they're not going to be getting the perfect shots every single time that they shoot. Okay, you're gonna miss those shots from time to time. Okay, every single athlete has dealt with missed shots. Okay, or missed, you know, every athlete has dealt with failures, or dealt with their own failures. Okay, education is the same way. You know, you're gonna get like math problems wrong. Okay, it's just a matter of trying to look at what you got wrong and figure out how to not have it happen again and learn from it and become, a better player, better, you know, um, mathematician, better programmer, better gamer. It's all kind of stems from that. Okay, failure, failure is just part of life. Okay, you're gonna trip and fall. You know, um, and it happens to the best athletes. Okay, they've always, they've tripped and fall, at the very beginning. In their, when they're trying to learn how to do something, they've fallen. So it's just a matter of, you know, um, figuring out how they fell or what they did wrong and try to figure out how to make sure not to do that again. You know, and that itself can be pretty tough, pretty hard to handle, right? Because you might not know what the problem is. Okay. You might not know where the failure lies. And that's why sometimes having a good coach, good mentor, having a good individual with lots of experience can can really help out, right? Sometimes it's going back and learning or looking back at you know what you did. So like studying, like having like a video recording of your of what you're doing, like especially if you're an athlete, right? So like say like track and field, right? Um, someone's really good at their end game, right? They really know how to pace themselves. They really know how to like do the right kind of breathing, and they like take off like a shot, after a certain period of time. But problem is that maybe it's their starting block, right? Maybe they really like trip and fail at their starting block. They really don't know how to get the starting block perfect, right? So, sometimes it's just a matter of like maybe changing your hand positions. Sometimes it might be how to kind of um, get, get yourself set up to launch, to push yourself off that starting block and get that, next foot out, you know. Maybe they're doing like the wrong foot at the start. Like maybe instead of doing, like, maybe they have like their left foot out in front and their right behind. Maybe they need to swap out. Maybe they need to have their right foot out front and then their left foot, or something along those lines. It all takes about an amount of analysis and understanding as to what the problem might be and try to figure out how to resolve it. So, and um, you know, so yeah, but um, if you're still like in a like a basketball team, I think you mentioned that you're still part of a team and stuff like that, and they still kind of put the pressure on you to get that winning score, then maybe say no. I need you guys to get the winning score. So if you throw me the ball, I'll throw it right back at you. You know, because you guys need to start picking up the slack. I need you guys. I need to rely on you to be able to handle those plays. You know, because if they throw you the ball and you're like double teamed or something like that, like two players are covering you because they keep on throwing you the ball, then what are you supposed to do with that? Okay. They need to learn that they can't rely on you 100% of the time. They're going to have to take up some of that slack because eventually, you know, if you're the one doing all the single plays and stuff like that, then the other team is going to realize that, and then they're going to double team you. Okay. Um, think of it this way. Um, a team is only as strong as their weakest link. Okay. From, at least that's a common saying. Okay. Right? So if you're the strongest player on a team, then the work shouldn't necessarily be coming from you. You know, you're gonna need to like tell your coach that, hey, you guys are putting a lot of pressure on me. Let's work on these guys over here that are kind of struggling. Let's help them out become better ball players. Okay. I'll help you with that. I'll help them become better ball players. But coach, stop putting me on the pedestal because the other team will see it. They'll realize that, I'm, you know, I'm the best ball player on the team and you guys are pushing the ball on me. They're going to see it and they're going to counter it. And that's not going to help the team out. So, okay. That's what I would say anyway. Um, so yeah, the coaches might look at you and go, yeah, yeah, you might be the greatest player on the team and might, pull off the greatest shots in the world. But that's the thing. They shouldn't have to rely on just you to do that though. Okay? they need to work on their other players to do that exact same thing, so that you have a very strong team. So that's what I would say. You know, if you're still part of you know a basketball team that still has that kind of pressure on you, then I would like really kind of go up to the coach and say, hey, listen, you guys are putting a lot of pressure on me, and I'm getting um, I'm starting to feel it. You guys are putting a lot of pressure on me, and I don't necessarily need that. Um, I don't necessarily need that pressure on me 24/7. So I need you guys to take up the slack. So our team's weakness is fast breaks and passing and rebounding, and I'm not the number one guy. I'm either number two or three. My friend is number one guy, and rightly so. He's good. Well, okay. Well, you just mentioned your weaknesses. Then start working on that. Okay. Just take like take one of your um training sessions, or take one of your um you know take one of your training sessions and pick one, like fast breaks, passing, or rebounding, and just work on it with everybody. Okay. And, maybe have your number one guy kind of looking at the weakest players and see what they're doing wrong. Okay. Maybe your number one guy, your friend, might be able to look at them and go, hey, wait, like, did you just close your eyes with doing this rebound or something like that? They might be able to kind of see what that other player is doing, what that other player might be doing wrong. And just focus on that, you know? Just focus on that one weakness and start strengthening it with all your players. Okay? That way, when you start working on that weakness and figuring out where the weaknesses are and how to resolve them, then you'll get better at it. You'll learn how to figure out how to do rebounds better. So that's all. That's what I would say. So okay. Well, I'm going well past the the time on this Conceptus session. So I'm gonna go ahead and shut down this video. I'm gonna move on to Honkai Star Rail. Um, so Kirito, stay tuned. Uh, I'll be back. Um, I want to get into the next gaming session, and then we'll continue the discussion there. But let me transfer on over. Let me end this video so people that are watching are like going, "Wait, what are you doing there, Jim?" um, for those of you that are watching this later on YouTube, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Like and subscribe would be fantastic. Check out the rest of the game and the gaming playlist, as well as the coding playlist that I have if you're interested. Check out the description for um, for links down there, Discord, Patreon, um, Throne, my Team Robots down there as well if you're interested in that. Looking for streamers and non-streamers alike on that team if you're interested in that. But that's where we're going to go ahead and end today's session. So for Conceptus. So we're going to be switching on over to Honkai Star Rail here in just a minute. But uh, that's it. So thank you very much for watching this particular Conceptus video. So take care. And stop recording.